A good environment can change everything, whether it's down to the people you hang around with, the place where you live, or the routines you take part in every single day. Those elements play a factor in molding the person you become, especially when it involves your upbringing. Memories and emotions that stick with you throughout your life are tough to suppress, even more so when we become adults. And it becomes harder to tell someone how you feel the older we get, the insecurities that haunt us that we don't wish for others to know what pain resides inside us. However, there's always that chance you find yourself in different waters, surrounded by people that make you see things from another perspective, giving you different answers to the unsolved questions you've been asking all your life. And sure enough, step by step, you begin to grow into the person you want to become. Nico Robin has gone through exactly that in her time in One Piece. The most recent event in the story brought a full circle moment for a character that sparked an interest in me wanting to talk about it in a video. This is something anyone, including myself, can learn from, who are roughly around the same age as the Devil's Child, and how one single moment in recent times can tell the story of your journey in so many ways. So let's talk about Nico Robin and how we've come full circle on our road to recovery. Let's go. It's no secret that Nico Robin is one of my favorite characters in One Piece. If you've been following my coverage of the series dating back to 2017, you'll know how much she means to me. And the most recent chapter in the story hit home for me quite a bit because it involves her. In chapter 1131, Robin had went back to her previous Hime cut that she's been known for since her debut in the story, a signature hairstyle she had kept all the way until the time skip, where she removed her bangs and it became much easier to see her face. At the time, I felt this was a huge change for her character. You begin to see her express herself even more without this curtain blocking us from that view. She's a lot more vibrant and expressive in conversation, and as much as her jokes around death still scare me every now and then, although sometimes a little bit hot, we would never find ourselves hearing her talk like this prior to the Water 7 saga. Although she started talking like that back then, she probably actually meant it rather than joking manner, and we can never really figure out what's going on. She was more reserved and kept to herself back then, which was understandable given what we learned of her past and how hard it was for her to trust others. Now it feels like Robin is not just a straw hat, she's become family. Robin is now someone who can interact with others and more importantly begin to put her trust in them. Instead of taking burdens on her own, she's learned to ask others for help, even going as far as to help her fellow crewmates in dangerous situations, like we saw with Sanji in his fight with Black Maria, and how even with the mind games of her past standing in her way, that didn't stop Robin from locking in and handling business, because she's not just fighting for herself but for her friends. There are only a few things that define the Robin of today versus who she was when we first met her, which is why chapter 1131 felt like a full circle moment to me for her character. We assumed that Robin wanted to change her appearance back to her previous looks as it was easier for Jaguar Soul to recognize her, and that could exactly be the thinking behind Robin's reasoning. Looking outside the box and more importantly at Robin, and not in the way you probably thinking are, even though you have the right to assume that I would think that, but trust me, just like Robin, I have grown too. You begin to appreciate just how far she has come in her life. You can see the vibrance and the color in her cheeks and the light in her eyes, showing us that she's more alive as a person than she was back in the day. Her eyes are more rounder and they look full of life. Her smile feels more genuine, something that we only get from time to time, only this time it's more visible to spot in conjunction to those other elements I brought up a moment ago. She brought back the bangs that we saw during her time as Miss All Sunday, yet even so, this ray of happiness makes her glow in ways that we never seen before. It feels foreign to see her like this, yet that feeling was always close to home, only that it took a special set of people in her life to let her know where to find it. And that's why whenever I find myself looking at the panel of her showing off her previous look, that it begins to all make sense. It's easy for us to one day decide to change our appearance to something different. We've all done so at one stage of our life. How we present ourselves on the outside is a way for others to see what's inside of us. If there's any character in One Piece that we've followed who fits this perfectly, it's Robin. She used to clad herself in more darker clothing, hiding away her feelings behind her exterior outfits. Since the events of post time skip, she's begun to wear more brighter colors. Like the first time that I seen her in pink and even purple, going from Punk Hazard and Dressrosa, I was stunned with how good she looked in those colors. Not because I didn't think she couldn't hold it down in a more brighter setting, but more in the fact that we've been robbed of seeing her in all her beauty for far too long. And this is reflective in her interactions with the crew, as well as with others she meets along the way. Robin's more engaged in discussions. Even when she's joking around, you can see that vibrance of her shining through, not having to worry about toning it down and just being herself, letting everyone around her know that she's having a great time and that there isn't a need to be concerned for her. And for Robin to go back to her previous look while obtaining those new viewpoints of her character speaks volumes of her growth, whilst also informing the audience that with her Hime cut, this is where Robin feels the most comfortable. And to find that comfort, you have to step outside of that zone to obtain it. Someone who had to leave her home in order to live. Robin has now found more than one reason to keep on living. Now that she's found her place in the world, she's able to be herself at long last. It was always going to take its time. For the 20 years she's been on the run since leaving O'Hara, Robin had finally reached a crossroads, a path leading her toward a new lease at life. Her first time being the Straw Hats. Despite working for the opposition, Robin saw something in Luffy that piqued her curiosity and would go on to join the crew after Alabasta. From their time in Jaya to Skypiea to Long Island to the cinematic roller coaster masterpiece that was the Water 7 saga, Robin had saw for the first time in her life that there were people who cared for her, that wanted to be by her side, and this allowed Robin to finally tell us her desire to live. And we've seen where it's gone from Enies Lobby to where we are today, and it comes with being a member of the future king of the pirates crew. The world would continue to view her as a danger to society, especially with her bounty increase after the events of the Wano Country arc. Yet that's no longer a concern for Robin. Now that she has a family, it doesn't matter what the world thinks, and if they choose to make her their enemy, she will continue to fight like she's always had. Only instead she isn't alone anymore. She's got a family by her side to see these things through to the end. These swirling emotions and memories resurface within me just by looking at Robin in the current day. How a loving environment can heal and change a person from the inside out. Yeah, she's back to the same exact hairstyle we first saw her in, but she ain't the Miss All Sunday from long ago. She has evolved from that time whilst also remembering when she was the most happiest in her life, before tragedy swept her homeland and forced her to seek the meaning in living. Now that she's found her reason to keep living, she can now express herself at long last. It took a long time to get here. 20 years if we're keeping count. Yet after all this time, the woman before us is the reflection of what good vibes can do for somebody, how it can change how you feel, how you talk to people, and your overall demeanor, and that your hardships aren't your sin, but moments in which you grow from. At times, those good rays of energy can be seen on your person, especially from those who are around you to take them in. Some will look at this panel and think, great, she looks nice. End of story. Now where's the fucking One Piece? And then you have people like me who's seen her journey from where it started to where it is today and can't help but feel happy to see her happy, especially knowing that she's going to meet Saul for the first time since the O'Hara incident. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to hear the double there she knee slide across the galaxy and tell the universe that Nico Robin is Ichiban. So many people feel a type of way about Saul being alive, and while I get it, that doesn't ruin anything for me. Instead, it gives a character from her past to see how far she's come in the present as she is heading toward the future that she never thought she was ever going to have. And that is a type of joy that no amount of fighting or power scaling could ever buy from me. And hopefully in the chapters to come, Oda doesn't try to rob us of this reunion, because if he does so, he'll have a real reason to take a longer hiatus. If he knows what's good for business, you better load up on that double day or else. The journey still remains for Robin and the Straw Hats, yet this moment in time for her character deserves to be highlighted and recognized to showcase how far she has come and that her road to recovery is nearly complete. It's easy to overlook in the grand scheme of things. When you stop for a moment to look at the detours along your travels, you'll be glad that you did. With each point you begin to appreciate what you have, what you've gained, and that there's still more out there waiting for you. And don't be afraid of your surroundings during the journey. You'll never know what you may find that changes you forever. In this case, it was the Straw Hat Pirates that became that change for Robin. It's reflected in how we see her today. Good people that bring the best out of you. They are who you need to have around to keep you at bay, because when they are there for you, you'll want to be there for them. Like we heard from Robin early on in the time skip, that this is the first time that she's ever wanted to be stronger for someone else's sake, and that feeling in her heart wouldn't be there without meeting the people that changed her forever. The woman before us today is Nico Robin, the archaeologist of the Straw Hat Pirates, and a prime example that a good environment can change anyone for the better. Let me know how you feel about this topic and how it surrounds Nico Robin, and whether what I said in this video regarding Robin resonate with you. If you have your own feedback or something you wish to add as a follow-up, let me know down in the comments below. It could be for any character in One Piece that you feel strongly about, as I did for Robin. I also want to give a big shout out to Melon T for being a big part of why I made this video. The other day I came across a tweet of hers that perfectly described my feelings on seeing Robin in her Hime cut, along with the importance of having a good environment around you, what it does for your development and mental stability. I had a tough time trying to put into words exactly what that meant to me, and what Melanie said was exactly what I was looking for. So I just want to shout her out for recognizing the greatness of Robin in that moment and the role she played in me wanting to talk about it in a video. Like the video if you enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest events on the channel. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Commodore Last signing off. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care.